Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Kin beaten down value stocks catch up analysis http ntvforex.com news ID 1B4E188242028 1741 AM. Still no love for Europe. Equity indices in Europe dropped last week as risk appetite waned into the weekend, whilst US stocks closed Friday at record highs, albeit the rally since the March lows has been very uneven. All the chatter over the weekend was about a K-shaped recovery. Kin beaten down value stocks catch up with Europe lacking a lot of the high-quality tech and growth names. It may struggle until there is a vaccine, the pandemic is over, and dividends are reinstated. Short-term, the price action in stock indices seems more down to the individual narrative of the day or week. NBSP today ETA positive. European equities took the cue from a strong Asian session and pushed higher on Monday morning, with the narrative centering on treatment and vaccine news. Donald Trump is said to be mulling fast-tracking AstraZeneca's vaccine candidate, whilst the FDA issued an emergency use authorization for using plasma from recovered patients to treat COVID-19. Shares in Astra rose 2% in early trade. Meanwhile, the US and EU have struck a mini deal to cut tariffs on a range of items, which marks an important de-escalation of trade tensions that has dogged relations for many months. BT shares leapt 7% after reports it is seeking to bolster its defenses against a possible takeover. At a valuation of A10 BN, the group has become a definite target. And whilst BT has a lot of legacy baggage, notably A18 BN in net debt and a major pension deficit, ETA also got the Openreach crown jewel, which would be worth considerably more on its own than the group is valued today. Of course, there is no formal offer, but shares could jump further if one emerges. Deutsche Telekom, which owns 12% in BT, is seen as a likely candidate. The question is whether there could be more bombed-out UK-listed stocks that could be taken out by a timely takeover, perennial rumour favourite ITV, for instance NBSP. Elsewhere, sterling made a push higher last week, but the dollar came back. Brexit talks did not go very well and there was virtually zero progress on some key elements. The failure to break the long-term weekly trend resistance makes bust susceptible to further pullbacks, with the gravestone doji weekly candle also a bearish indicator. Support kicked in at 1.3060 on Friday and offers the near-term test for bears. Bulls will require a weekly close above the trend line to be confident. Eurist failed to overcome January 1960 and pulled back to 1.1760 where it has found support. A further rise in Euro net long positions to almost 200k contracts evident in Friday's COT report from the CFTC indicates extremely bullish positioning that may be too crowded and liable to a squeeze lower. GBP speculative positioning turned net long from net short for the first time since April. NBSP what we're watching this week. NBSP Republican Convention fires campaign starting pistol. NBSP the Democrats seem to have got through their set piece without a hiccup. Now over to Trump and CO for the Republican Convention, which will not only mark the starting pistol for this year's presidential run, but also the race for the 2024 GOP candidate. Market attention will increasingly come around to the November presidential race with barely over 2 months left until polling day. VIX futures indicate investors are starting to position for more volatility as the election approaches, and we should be prepared for a decent nudge higher in volatility and swing lower for stocks over the next 2 months. This will be the last major set-piece event before the first presidential debate on September 29. NBSP Jackson Hole. NBSP a confusion of central bankers convene in Wyoming online for the annual Jackson Hole Symposium. This year's virtual theme is navigating the decade ahead implications for monetary policy. I could answer that in one sentence: lower for longer, outright debt monetization, force inflation up to clear debts. But I am not a central banker, although I would go to Jackson Hole for the trout fishing. Federal Reserve Chair Jay Powell speaks on Thursday just a few moments before the U.S. cash equity on Wall Street. Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem follows and Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey speaks on the Friday. Given the way the minutes of the Fed's July meeting rocked risk appetite and checked the Bourse progress, This will offer a chance to catch up on where the Fed 1 month on with its mid-September FOMC meeting in focus. NBSP economic data to watch. NBSP there is a lot of economic data to get through this week, notably some Q2 GDP second estimates for the US among others. On Tuesday we are looking at the USCB Consumer Confidence Report. NBSP Wednesday sees the weekly crude oil inventories report as well as US durable goods orders and Australian construction activity. On Thursday the US weekly initial jobless claims number gets released, after last week's disappointing print of 1.1 million. Look also at the pending home sales and preliminary second estimate GDP numbers. NBSP more US data rounds out the week on Friday with the FED's preferred inflation gauge, the core PCE price index, personal spending, University of Michigan consumer sentiment and the Chicago PMI on the slate. NBSP earnings to watch. NBSP ad Titan WPP reports its interim results for the 6 months ended June 30 on Thursday. The advertising giant is a useful barometer of economic confidence. Big brands have slashed marketing budgets to cope with pandemic and WPP has warned of the hit it will take this year. But rival Publicis reported a 13% drop in second quarter like-for-like sales, which was well ahead of the 20% anticipated. Shares in WPP are down over 40% this year. Could Publicis offer a clue as whether the stock may find a new course? Does WPP see ad spend picking up? How has the Facebook boycott impacted it? We are also interested in Recruiter Hayes, which reports finals on Thursday and is often a great indicator as to the overall health of the labor market globally. Salesforce.com CRM is expected to deliver earnings and revenue growth when it reports numbers for the quarter ended July on Tuesday. EPS is seen at 70 cents on revenues of $4.9 billion. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors.